It is again 7th January of 2026. We are still struggling. Guys, I know you missed me during the December time, and that's why most of you are no longer watching. Please come back, I beg you. So there's a lot of banter going out there, political, from Talanda Stadium fraud to the suing, bitterness by JUNET and much more. Even the attempt to oust SIFUNA out of ODM. All these matters, guys, we need to talk about them. Why should we talk about them? We need a society where people are not fixing each other, conducting revenge and all this, regardless of the fact that revenge is part of life. Now, guys, let's start with the story of JUNET. Of course, JUNET has had a very tough time since Baba passed on. He became the real orphan, and I think he has not healed. He's not going to heal again anytime soon. So, Standard came up with information recently, especially about the money of the 2022 election and all that, and he was indicated as the biggest fraud ever. Okay? So JUNET had to come out and sue Standard. I don't know why he did that, because guys, wacha nikwambie, ukiiba umeiba, and sometimes ukifanya kufata watu na kuwashtaki, some people will come up with correct information and you might just be in for it. So if you know there's some truth in what you're saying, you better just say you'll sue, but don't sue. Just take the process like Wavinya Ndeti, but don't come up and sue. However, JUNET doesn't seem to understand things. And I think one thing he is underscoring is not understanding the media laws and so many other laws in this country. So, the case of JUNET has porosity. From what has been shown online, there is a lot of porous aspects within the case he's posting against Standard, and therefore it seems that he's not going to win it, and maybe you can get some few receipts about this case. All right, so let's check on the details of this case and just see what happened. The suing process by JUNET. Yeah, so from the letter written by possibly the lawyers, the letter reads, defamation of Honorable JUNET Mohammed MP in the Standard newspaper publication of 6th January 2026, which is yesterday. So the letter reads, we act for and on behalf of Honorable JUNET Mohammed, the Member of Parliament of Suna East constituency, who doubles up as minority leader in the National Assembly, hereafter referred to as our client, on whose express instructions we address you as follows. Our client has brought to our attention scandalous, reckless, and malicious publication of defamatory articles in your publication of 6th January 2026. And we continue to read in the Standard newspaper, appearing on the front page and at page 6, 7, and 8, reported by Irene Gidinji, Edward Nyarangi, and Harold Odhiambo, respectively, wherein they described and portrayed our client as a traitor. On the front page of the said newspaper, under the headline "The Die Hard Traitor," your publication states that for nearly 15 years, Suna East, JUNET Mohammed has hardly missed in the county's key political moments, a man unafraid of even mortifying himself, if need be, to sell his political agenda or that of his masters to the masses, is suddenly facing unexpected attacks, which include a Judas. In circumstances, our client hereby formally demands, which we hereby do, an immediate and unequivocal retraction of the defamatory publication on the front page, as well as pages 6, 7, and 8 of the Standard newspaper, a full public apology of Standard newspaper, and on all your digital platforms with equal prominence to the offending articles, a written undertaking that no further defamatory references, whether direct, implied, or insinuated, shall be published concerning our client. The letter continues. What more is written there? That is C. Yeah, so the letter reads that, now when we look into the analysis of communication authority and things to do with the publishing houses, if this information actually has, people have been talking about it, including the kind of SIFUNA, we also heard about that from who else? Then we can't have, JUNET actually holding the newspapers or media at, ransom so that they don't publish anything about him, whether insinuated or direct. So looking at that is possibly going to be very difficult for him to place the argument in court, and maybe possibly, I don't know whether he clearly has lawyers behind him to see through the cases that he is raising against Standard newspaper. And against, again, suing a whole newspaper would attract a lot of public attention towards him. And that means that many people will be following him closely to see what else they would publish. And as far as, media communication is concerned, media houses are open to discussion. Now, when it comes to a case, of course, a case takes a very long time, and it is in the public realm. So automatically, if JUNET is pursuing this case, he should be ready and have the muscles to actually stand in court and say what he is for, while the rest say what they know about it. And I'm so sure when you come to Kenya, sometimes people are very interested in such cases, and they would come up to present maybe the ideologies, their thoughts, their findings about maybe why they are calling JUNET the traitor. And of course, we've been seeing statements left and right since Baba passed on and he became an orphan than any other person in the party. The reality is that if you look at the attacks that have come against him, even and safeguarded SIFUNA, it is directly telling us that JUNET is in a fix. And if he was wise enough, or he has somebody who advises him correctly, he would retract. But maybe possibly he believes in the support of the government or something like that. No wonder he is continuing to press the sue or the suit against the media, such as Standard. Now let's get to see details about SIFUNA now, because we are just moving from the suing of Standard. Now we move to the case of SIFUNA. Of course, SIFUNA has had a lot of battles from the ODM other group. Of course, everybody knows ODM has two groups: those who stand with the ideologies of Baba, and those who are just there because of broad-based government. And they keep saying that we will be government, we are in government, we are no longer going to be in opposition. We are focused towards fighting to remain the government. And such people, of course, including Wanga, we look at JUNET himself and many others, including even Ambadi, Oparanya partly, and we look at the former governor, Mombasa. All these people are actually strongly coming in to talk about the broad-based government, and therefore they are not ready to really stand with the principles of ODM. And of course, when I was looking at the way Sifuna speaks, you would think that many people would be against him. However, it turns out that when people are just ready to oust him, Okech actually is the one who was becoming the Mutusa of the day to raise an impeachment or an ouster motion against Sifuna. And possibly, he must have found out that many people are not going to support it. Maybe because they check the media, they also see what people talk out there. He has retracted that ouster motion as fast as he started. Even before you know it, he has retracted it. So now let's check on the few details about what other people feel out there. And maybe before that, we should be aware that today there was a birthday party for Mama Ida, and the ODM members were there. So Ida had to come handy to advise the members of ODM to cease from, having a moment of conflicts, let's say political conflicts, because in literature, of course, specifying that is very important. Now let's check from Sifuna's end and what he said. Then from there we can go back to see the people who are supporting or rather standing with him. So let's listen to this.
Also consider what other things are happening in the country and in the party. I have listened to every word that you have said. And as I said at Mze's burial, it will not be me to wreck Mze's party. It will not be Sifuna. I made that promise to Mze, and I want to repeat it here. The advice that you've given, Mama, I want to tell you, there is no one in ODM. It doesn't matter how many times, how badly you've insulted me. There is no one in ODM I will not sit down with. I want to give you that assurance. You have asked us to sit and talk. I am very prepared. It doesn't matter what has happened between us. As Mama has said, maybe I'm going to extend that olive branch because Mama now, wewe ndio huko, umetuambia, water under the bridge. It doesn't matter what you've said to Sifuna or how badly you feel about me. I am prepared to sit down and iron out our issues. The only reason sometimes it spills out, Mom, because we are also human beings, you know. Sometimes mambo inachemkanga na ni mbaya zaidi, lakini umetuguide vizuri. Mimi nakumbuka Baba used to consult everyone. As you have said, I have told people stories. You would go to a village in Tana River, you find a kamzee there, unaweza kumwambia huyu mtu ni bure, umdharau. Sasa ile unatoka, huyo mzee amepigia baba simu, sema huyo kijana ama ni mzuri, ama amenipeleka vibaya, ama amenipeleka vizuri. Unalanda hapa Nairobi, unaona baba anakupigia simu, Edwin, where are you? Kuja nyumbani. Umetoka Tana River, umefanyaje ule mzee? So that message that you have given us, always consulting, always being firm but fair, and always remembering the principles upon which this party was built.
All right, guys. So as you listen carefully to Sifuna, he insists on the principles of the party. And that part of ideological differences is what arose and brought the political intrigues in ODM and nothing more. Of course, when you look at the intrigues that are happening here, some of the members feel like it's supposed to be a party that is strongly just hanging on broad-based government and saying, yeah, Ruto should go on, 2 terms should be the way to go. We should support what is happening currently, everything as it is. While there are those who feel like it is not right, and therefore they should stand by the principles of the party, because ODM is a party on its own. And of course, recently, if you listen to an interview Sifuna had, I think it was Citizen, right? He indicated that if the party is going to hang on broad-based whatever arrangement, then they're going to die. And that is quite true. Everybody sees clearly that in case they hang onto the government, automatically that means the party will be deleted. And of course, some people are quite happy that maybe they would oust Sifuna out of the party. Why? Once they oust him, they could create room for Sifuna to continue growing and actually propagating the principles maybe somewhere in a different party. However, the failure to actually have him ousted is a loss to citizens, because now It means that they are going to remain in broad-based up to 2027, and then they wouldn't have time to actually raise their own candidate. Possibly they can only raise a vice president, as insinuated from Osoti to Gladys Wanga, and the rest of them, you can name them, so many. And looking at the fact that Sifuna is actually indicating that they need to be strong enough for the party to go on. Thank you so much. I can see there is someone here. KB Hodge. Hey, how are you doing? I'm Tevin. I would love to bless you. You got WhatsApp around Super Chat. Yeah, I've got it. I've got WhatsApp, so you can get to it. And maybe, yeah, do the necessary. Though there is a time somebody asked for WhatsApp, then I gave, but I didn't see anything. Anyway, it is what it is. I hope this one is different, so you can actually get to WhatsApp and see what to do using the number 729-464-528, 0729-464-528. All right, so let's proceed with the support for Sifuna. Oh, so you gave yours? I'll try. Though there's a time somebody asked for a number, I gave it, and I didn't see nothing forthcoming. But anyway, I'll try and see what will happen. I hope you subscribe to the channel too, as we continue to grow in this journey of YouTube. Not an easy journey anyway, but we keep trying. And let's see how far we can go. Oh, yeah. So, Sifuna was defended by a lot of people, and I just want to bring some of them here. They really defended him a lot. Let me just check. And I think this is what scared Okech from raising a case against Sifuna. Let's start from here.
Sifuna aheshimiwe. Hata Raila alikuwa anamheshimu. Aheshimiwe asiheshimiwe. Aheshimiwe asiheshimiwe. Kuanzia leo tunataka kusema tumechora mipaka. JUNET nyamaza asinyamaze. Aheshimu Sifuna asimheshimu. Mjue hii chama ya ODM ni chama ya Waluya. Raila mwenyewe alikuwa Mluya kutoka Matungu, kutoka Sakwa Clan, Mumias. Raila mwenyewe alikuwa kutoka Sakwa Clan. Na Sifuna atakuwa hapo. Sifuna kaa kitete, kalia kiti ya SG na matako yote mbili. Na huyo JUNET Mohamed, tunataka tukutane naye kama jamii ya Mlenge. JUNET Mohamed asifikiri ati Sifuna ni ofa na atoki kwa jamii. Na kuanzia leo, mheshimu Sifuna. Sifuna aheshimiwa asiheshimiwe. Aheshimiwa asiheshimiwe. Na mimi nataka kuambia huyu Sifuna huyu ambaye mnaona saa hizi tunaangalia sana kama jamii ya Mlenge. Sifuna akipata hata homa peke yake, aanze kusneeze. Wacha Sifuna aanze hata kusneeze ama aseme ako na malaria. Akina JUNET mtatuambia Sifuna ametoa wapi malaria?
Wako au ndio watakati Sifuna tokodia. Unajua tu vizuri mwana kuna vitu vya telefa nini anaokorea maeria. Ai. Pia kubanja. Ndio kameza ODM. Bulanda.
So from how I see it,
Mali imefika. Wajaka wenzangu, wacha tupige mkono chini tusarende. Hii kitu imetushinda. Umesikia vile wamesema? Ati Sifuna kitoka tu kwa ODM wanaenda na tena ukijua wewe ni Jaluo wanaenda na wasichana hao. Ndugu yangu,
to me Songa is a man of principle.
All right, let's check on this. Sasa zingine kwa unasikia na umemuuza akasema umeshiba. Na mbona unabeba? All right, so there was an interview with Okech on why he wanted to oust Sifuna, and this is what he had to say.
Sent a letter to the chairperson of the Orange Democratic Movement Party with the subject matter being motion for the whipping and or expulsion of the Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna from the Orange Democratic Movement Party membership. And here, those lawyers were from Migori County, who listed several grounds and saying, I feel that the Secretary General of the party has basically violated the party rules and all. Yesterday, the same lawyers wrote to the same organization, the leadership of the ODM, saying, we refer to the letter we sent yesterday, and now we have new instructions from our client that he says, cognizant of the breaches as outlined in our aforementioned letter, and to the offensive remarks made by the Honorable Senator Edwin Sifuna, both against the party and its members, our client has, in consultation with the party leader and the relevant party organs, been persuaded to withdraw the motion, the letter, and instead invoke Article 16(1)(g) of the party constitution, which vests the powers to facilitate amicable resolution of dispute through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms upon the party leader. So basically, Senator Oket says, all right, so now I'm not going to pursue this. I leave it to the party organs to take it up. The question, though, is, has Senator Eddie Oketch changed his mind on what he felt about Edwin Sifuna a day earlier? He is our guest. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, bro.
Asante sana for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yes.
Yeah? We'll start off with a quote from Janet. Of course, you know the drill. You've been hearing from. The quote is some words that were said sometime by somebody.
Yeah.
And let's see whether they make it.
So, I was just laughing because his Happy New Year and, how his predisposition is really against a lot of what he's doing. But we'll get into it.
Well, Janet, you must never look like our
We
trouble.
must never look like our troubles. Thank you, Mariam. Patrick Kadara, who is a Kenyan a political cartoonist and commentator, once said, democracy isn't so much a system for electing rulers, it's a system for people ruling themselves. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Because the social contract called government must always be about the people. And those checks and balances are what make the democracy work. So it must always be about the people. And I think that even the question we're having this morning, the party is about the people. And sometimes the people who govern the party do forget. Because, it comes with cruncher, it comes with power. And sometimes people forget that actually the bosses of us who are the masses give those positions. Then we forget and we get excited about that power and forget about the people.
It's about the people. You don't, from your perspective, it's not personal. You don't have a personal vendetta or issue.
Absolutely. Even with Sifuna, remember, Sifuna is my colleague in Senate. And Sifuna and I we are desk mate if you are to go with the school terminology. Yeah. We are desk mate. And since when we go to Parliament, we are both in Senate. And there are serious wars that we have fought in that Senate with Sifuna, and he knows. But I feel that there's a bigger cause, there's a bigger calling that we all have. And that bigger calling is sometimes shelving your own personal ambition for the sake of the people. The party ODM, by the way, that today I even thought that we'd do courtesy and sing happy birthday to Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, because it is a sheer coincidence that I come here at his birthday. Right. Baba's dream could have been that this party becomes like a Democratic Party, the Democratic Party in the U.S., or even the Republican Party in the U.S., which have gone through different iterations that are people-centered in different ideologies and are now 200 years political parties.
All right, so according to Oketch, Sifuna is the one now bringing the party down by not shelving different ideologies, not standing other people's ideologies. Is that what he says? But then, in my perspective, I believe Oketch is narrow-minded, because if there is anything that Sifuna is trying to do is to hold the principles of the party and also allow room for ideologies that move forward the party and make it remain as it is, instead of being swallowed. But I don't know. Maybe you can have your thoughts shared out here as we proceed with the discussion. So now, of course, we've realized that finally, this guy has had to withdraw whatever he was trying to push, the ousting of Sifuna, and has brought out the need to have an amicable way of solving the problem. And of course, during the commemoration of Baba Raila's birthday, that is the discussion that came out was that Sifuna is supposed to be actually left in the party, and we should have discussions, fair discussions, friendly ones at the end of the day. Let's just listen to what Mama Odinga said. Mama Ida.
Welcome home. Today is a special day because today, the 7th of January, marks what would have been Baba Raila Amolo Odinga's 81st birthday. On behalf of our family, I wish to share our most sincere and deep gratitude to everyone who in one way or another made it possible for us to give Baba a dignified exit that he received. It is not possible to name everybody or every institution that made this the Prime Minister of India for the personal and executive intervention that made it possible. Martin Wanyoike, Dr. Eva Njenga, Dr. Robin Mugere, as a matter of service to our country. I want to end by appealing to those Baba left in the leadership of the party to reflect deeply and sincerely on his dreams for the party and for our country. Let us approach the problems of the party by always asking ourselves, what would Baba do under these circumstances? I guess your guess is as good as mine. I'm sure Baba would tell us, let us sit down and talk. And I'm sure that's my wish, to sit down and talk our differences. I thank you all for joining us to celebrating the life of Baba today. Nothing could be better.
All right, so you heard earlier on Sifuna speaking, and of course, he was responding to Mama Ida's wishes that they sit down as ODM party and talk. But I don't know whether that is going to give a solution to these people, because some of them seem to have made a resolution about fundamentally following maybe the government and sticking to the government, hanging on the government, and if possible, sacrificing for the government. While there are those who have made their resolution that they are going to only be together up to some point where they should actually fight for political space. I don't know. It's just a mixture of problems, but you can type your comment to allow us to understand what your thought is about the future of ODM and the position of Sifuna, and whether you believe that this resolution was good for them or not. All right. Away from that, I want us to come to the last point of our discussion today within this video, and that goes back to one of the events in one of the videos we were focused on. Let's see. Ulimuuliza kama alishiba. Jua viazi vinakuwa light kwa mtu mkubwa. Alafu angalia maji kama warm, umuuliza kama nataka chai, mwekea hapo kwa meza.
We have had previous government concentrating projects that are done by government in particular regions and not others. Okay? This is a fact. We have been in this country all together. So when those things are happening in Luyaland, you can't say that now Luyas are being favored. When those things are happening, by the way, even if you look at the structure of government right now, right? People might want to exclude or isolate the central Kenya and Mount Kenya region, okay? And say that, oh, because Mount Kenya region is not perhaps in broad base, which we have just said, therefore they're not getting some development or their fair share of what they deserve. Today in government, central Kenya has got more ministers than any other region. And nobody's profiling central Kenya that because they're not the leaders in Mount Kenya are not in broad base.
No, someone shouldn't get development.
Yes,
I am saying the problem here is not that certain regions are now getting development. That should be the case. Everyone in Kenya should be able to get development, should be able to get goodies, roads, favors, whatever, regardless of party position, regardless of affiliation, regardless of being in broad-based or not. So when you say that, you know what, Azimio is in broad-based and we have reaped and the party SG is compromising this,
Senator, I think
it's incredibly, it's an undoing.
You know what Mariam is saying? Because I think we've also hosted people here who have inadvertently said it's because of my proximity to the president that I think it was a woman. We've hosted many people.
It was Gathoni Wamushomba.
Yes, there was somebody else, but she basically said
Milia Dhiambo. It's so many people.
So it's hard to deny that. It's hard to deny it. It's hard to say that's not the case. But I do want us to see if we can move forward, because my whole thing is, so how does this end?
All right, so that discussion is a long one. Maybe you can get some time and watch that presentation on NTV. That is my case against Edwin Sifuna, as he is trying to explain why he's not supporting what Sifuna says, and then explaining why he had to drop the case and all that. Anyway, it is what it is. Of course, today we had just 3 matters we are discussing and we are done with it. I didn't want to go into very long videos because, of course, I should go again to Life Saga, just do a 10 minutes or something like that, short one, and call it a day. Bye-bye for now. Unafanya nini?